the first season of the Sunday SITREP. It's not just a tournament, it's a brotherhood.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the 26th episode of the Sunday SITREP, the official podcast of the Armed Forces Fishing League. Man, we've got a pretty good episode tonight, Nick. I'm pretty excited about it. What we're releasing tonight, and we've already got a bunch of people jumping in, so I'm sure everybody else is excited about it just like we are. But we're not going to jump in, and I mean, there's a little production value here. We're not going to jump in and give away all the details right off the rip. We're going to get to it here in a little bit. So don't get mad at us for, treating it like a normal podcast. And we're going to, tease you a little bit and make you guys wait for it just a little bit. But we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it for sure. But, before we get started, I want to, just bring up, like, for all the people out in the Midwest, if we got anybody out there, Kentucky, Indiana, and a little west of that, all the folks out there getting hammered with tornadoes and weird, wild weather effects. I know Kentucky specifically is just flooding like crazy everywhere you look. And just, if we got anybody that watches us and is on here or have family there, please, keep them in your thoughts and prayers, and we're thinking about you for sure. And then same thing for the northern guys. They're almost there. Y'all are this close. You just picked up your boat, right, Nick?
I did, yeah, but I can't use it because the lakes are still frozen. So
right. So keep the northern guys still in your thoughts and prayers, as well as that last mile is always the worst mile. So you're getting,
dude, it's just this time of year. We've been at it for so long now.
Right.
Like, our boats have been up since October, November. I got home from Tennessee, and that was the last time I fished. Was national. So I'm dying, man.
Kind of
and then doing this with you and talking fishing all the time is just like
yeah, I didn't even think about all that. Man, I didn't realize you haven't been on the water at all since the national.
Yep.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Just to kind of, rub it in a little bit. It was around that temperature here in Sumter as well today.
Yeah,
a little spicy out there.
I won't see 89 until probably July, August.
Right. So that's a good way to look at it. Expensive lawn ornaments. Yeah.
You sit there making payments on a boat that you can't use for, half the year. It's like,
right.
Come on now.
For sure. For sure. Man, it got yesterday during our derby, Bobby, his poor calves, Bo. I mean, they look like, they was as red as the Armed Forces Fishing League logo back here. I mean,
really?
Mine got pretty red too, but his were pretty beat yesterday. I feel kind of bad.
I look like I just walked through the snow. I haven't seen sunlight and
yeah, I feel that. Yeah, same here, Philip. We got some weird weather going on. It's supposed to drop down back cold again. Well,
I'll take.
I'm sorry.
66. Come on.
Yeah. Well, I think our nights, we're supposed to get some like weird, like high 30, low 40 degree nights randomly. It's been in the 70s and 80s. So, once you get that taste of 90 degrees, going back down to 40s sucks.
So I'm looking at the weather. Tomorrow it says occasional snow showers. And then Tuesday becoming windy with snow flurries. So you guys.
All right, I'm done. I'm sorry. I apologize. All right. My fault. Okay. I didn't know y'all were still looking at snow in April. That's insane. All right. That sucks. Y'all are getting.
Dude, that's why, like, when we fish up here, our seasons, like, pre-spawn and like the spawn especially happens so fast.
Right.
Everything happens so fast up here.
Then fish are like, oh, it's warm. Go. Like,
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's y'all are getting snow burns out there and glimming off the snow so much in the sun.
Dude, it was probably, I don't know, 50s, and I put my I had my sunroof open got a sunburn on my forehead a couple weeks ago.
That's wild. In the 50s. That's crazy. Dang, I feel for y'all. So, all right. So, keep the northern guys in your prayers. The next couple of weeks and get warmed up. You said you were telling me last time we were talking. You're saying something about some of the lakes are starting to thaw, right? The little lakes.
Yeah. The smaller lakes are. I mean, the bigger lakes are starting to open up a little bit. I mean, there's still a ton of ice on them. But you can't launch a boat. I mean, you could launch a boat in some of the bays, and that's what a lot of the guys up here, they go salmon fishing this time of year. So they'll go into like the bays and catch salmon and trout and stuff. But
right,
but you can't run across the whole lake yet on the bigger stuff. The small ponds, some of the small ponds are wide open now, but
right,
we're not there yet.
I hear you. Even if you did get in, them fish are still probably trying to, unthaw and get ready to move and do things. But well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a bunch in here so far. So make sure I see a couple people but make sure y'all like, sharing, and commenting hashtag #TheSitRep, just like it's spelled right there. No spaces, no weird spelling. Caps doesn't really matter, but make sure it's spelled just like that so our algorithm tracks it. And then let's get into some results. So we've had 4 derbies. Kentucky was supposed to have one yesterday, but due to all the crazy stuff, it's kind of weird. Both tournaments we were supposed to have in Kentucky so far have both had to been moved because of flooding. I feel bad, and it's honest. I mean, the last time they were supposed to be on green, and green was up like 20-something feet. Oh yeah, that's my mom. Oh goodness, she didn't tell me that yet. That's crazy. So that's all the Frankfurt area. That's a lot. I mean, the Kentucky River runs a pretty good way. So, prayers for all those people out there kind of stuck in that. But what is this?
That's that tournament they do in November. Remember they did the
Oh yeah. Yeah. No thanks.
Yeah, John, I don't
what's the temperature? I'm not ready for that. Like, y'all don't understand. Like, I don't do cold weather. That is not a thing for me. But
I'm not a big fan of fishing that time of year either, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I hate fishing in the winter here. I can't imagine fishing in the winter up there. Like, it's not even on my radar. Like, that's not even but maybe one time I'll give it a shot. I'll give anything a try. So maybe.
Hey, while I bring that up, so John Army, for any of the people in the Northeast, his dad is he deployed to Vietnam twice. He's obviously a vet, and he's looking to have a handicap ramp built at his dad's house. So if they'll buy all the material, if we have anybody up here that would help put that ramp together, if we could all get together and just bang that out for him, I mean, that'd be huge. I'm going to make a post about it too. But anybody that's listening or sees this from the Northeast, if you're interested in helping out a Vietnam vet, building a handicap ramp, let me know. Reach out to me. Reach out to John. You can message the page, comment on the page, whatever. Just let me know, and we'll make it happen.
Awesome. That's what it's all about.
Yeah,
that is what it's all about. For sure. That's not too bad. I can deal with that. I mean, we fish derbies like that. My first tournament I ever won was on the Cooper River. It was 28 degrees when we blasted off and 20-mile-an-hour winds, and I was miserable till I stuck a 7-pounder, and I was just like, all right, we're good. Let's let it ride. And
oh man, like there's no warming up.
Yep. No, it was kind of like that. I don't believe it got much above freezing that day, and the wind, man, I can deal with cold when it's not windy, but when that wind, when it's windy, that stuff sucks, man. I hate it.
I did one tournament in November, I don't know, probably 6-7 years ago now, and it was like that temperature, and it was like freezing rain for half the day, and I was like, this sucks, man.
Yeah, for sure. That's how Jeremiah and Gage explained Kentucky Lake this year for the team championship. I'm like, yeah, that's miserable. I kind of hate that. That's where they relocated it, and they had to go deal with those conditions with the heavy winds and everything. But it still sounded like they had a good time. So that's cool. But yeah, so let's dive into some results. We have 4 derbies since our last podcast. 29 March, Louisiana was out of Toledo Bend. They had 11 teams show up. And congrats to Morgan and Barnes with 14-11, taking home first place. Second place in that derby was Tier and Cowden. Maybe it was Crowden. I might have misspelled that.
No, Cowden. That's right.
Is it Cowden? Yep.
Yeah.
Cowden.
12, I don't know how.
Yeah, 12.82. And then third place was Morvant and Ford with 12.02. So pretty tight race there, right there. And then Chris Botten had the big fish of the derby with a monster 6.47 stud there.
That's
so,
good fit.
Yes, sir. That is a nice one for sure. That's a tough Toledo Bend, 14 pounds winning. It'd definitely be like that sometimes for sure. Santee, it was not as good to us this weekend as we expected. For sure. We thought it was going to be a smoke show, and I'll get into that in a second. But so 5 April, so yesterday, we had 3 derbies, and I'll start with Hartwell in Georgia. They had 11 teams. First place was Peter Adams and Billy Winson with 14-13. And then second place was our director, Philip Hunt, and his partner, Neil Scoggins, with 13-41. And they had big fish as well with a 5.53. It's a stud fish for Lake Hartwell for sure. And then Dale and Frake Harbor finished third with 13-20. So congrats all the Georgia guys up there. And then North Carolina, they had 6 teams. Growth. I love that. I like they had 6 teams. North Carolina has struggled, so I'm really glad that it's starting to pick up finally. First place in that derby was Joshua Sharp with 10.92. Then our director, John Shirley, in second with 9.93, and he took home big fish with a 3.88. And then Kirby Moffitt with a 9.73. So congrats to those gentlemen. And
you said with a 9.73 or
I did not see the total number. No. I think that was just total weight. I did not see numbers of fish. He just texted me the total weights. So I don't know if they had like 4 or 5 or how that went down. But and then here on Santee Cooper, we had 14 teams show up. Taking on first place with Nathan Tyson and Lindsey Pierce with 18.94 with a big fish of 5.86. Second place was Philip Stutz and Jared Branch with 15.35. And then third place was Matthew and James Barnes with 13.52. Based off last week, from all the word I heard, Santee was supposed to have 25+ pound bags yesterday, and it didn't show up. Everybody kind of struggled a little bit. Even Nathan,
so decent though. I mean, that's a good bag.
Yeah. I mean, that's a solid bag, but this lake's been taking 30 something to win everything, and that's the nutty thing, and it's kind of starting on that bad slope. But it is what it is. Even Nathan said it was pretty tight, pretty hard to catch them.
What Kitterman and Edwards weigh in?
I don't have it up in front of me. We had 11. We were fourth. I think we had 11.82. We had a good derby, for sure. We kept it local. We didn't, I think we probably burned 2 gallons of gas all day, if that.
Yeah.
And we lost my For His Glory Outdoors hat on as we were coming. I don't know what I did. I put my hat on as he was bringing the boat down, and it went, and luckily we found it. But yeah, so it is what it is. But we had a limit at like 9 o'clock. That was really nice, and we culled a couple times. It was just no big fish. We didn't really have any opportunities. We were in this back area. There was like a little bit of a shad spawn deal going off, which was kind of weird. It wasn't nothing crazy, but there was shad skipping up in the grass and fish blowing up on them here and there a little bit. A couple big ones we seen, but couldn't get them to eat anything. And there was some other guys around us that we talked to saying the same thing, that they were blowing up all over them. They couldn't get them to eat nothing. So I don't know. It was kind of a weird deal. Like some guys were saying they seen them on beds. We seen a couple fish on beds, and they were not really. I think the ones we seen have probably been molested a little bit because they didn't want to.
Yeah.
They had zero interest in anything. So
is this like the normal time for them to spawn down there?
Yeah, for sure. March, April is pretty common. Sometimes a little later into May if we have like a real cold winter or something. But
yeah.
But yeah, so it was a fun derby. Definitely some of our like local like absolute sticks on that lake showed up with only 3 fish. And when they dumped them in the bucket, I was like, okay, so it was not a good day. Like if they show up with
Dad's Lake, right? They usually do pretty good out there, right?
Yeah, and they only had 3. And if they show up with 3, it's tough. It's tough for sure. But yeah, and even Jeremiah Jensen and Gage, they were talking about how bad it struggled. Lonnie Drush and his partner Frank Gilman were telling me about how tough it was. It was not easy. It was not an easy derby to catch fish in, that's for sure. But we caught our fish shallow. It was fun. We caught them on speed worms and wacky rigs, and I caught them on a fluke. I like doing that, like up shallow, working soft plastics and giving them the beans crossing their eyes when they eat it. It was
on like 8-pound test, right?
No, I don't run no 8-pound test around here. It scare you. No, that's scary. Like I was scared with 12-pound tests.
When you go north.
Yeah, I know. That stuff scares me. I'm used to, giving them the beans and not worrying about it. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was a fun derby. I had a good time. I think Bobby did, and everybody did. We did the belt thing. Everybody seemed to like the belt thing. That was pretty cool. I really liked that a lot. Yeah, I haven't posted the pictures yet. I just finished up the weighbook thing. I gotta adjust the points. I'm figuring out the points thing on that. And then I'll be able to kick that out with all the pictures and stuff. But we hung the belts up above the backdrop. Yeah, it's pretty sick. Yeah, I like that. It turned out pretty cool. But yeah, it was a fun time for sure.
Awesome.
That's all of our results from this weekend and last weekend. And we got a couple upcoming. So he's up shallow. Philip, are they on beds up there? That 5.5, what would you have, a 5.53 on a wacky rig on the beds? Here. Oh, we both yeah. Make sure it's the green braid or whatever, so that they can like really, really see that dark line contrasting through the water.
Yeah.
For sure. It's like
he always gives good advice. Just listen to everything he says.
Absolutely. Make sure I don't know. I mean, there's some big smallies up there. I might have to, go a little heavier, get some 80-pound, bring out the flipping stick with a 2-ounce drop shot weight.
You do you.
Maybe I'll change the game. You never know.
You could.
But yeah, dang, everybody's catching them on a wacky rig. Docks 3 to 15 feet. That's a big range. But it is what it is. Wacky rigs, nice. Maybe I should have thrown the wacky rig more. Bobby threw it a bunch. I didn't throw it a whole lot. I broke one off at like 9:00 and I never tied it back on. I was like, whatever, I'll throw the fluke. Bobby's throwing the wacky rig. I'll throw the fluke instead. And it worked out. I caught some fish, but excuse me. Yeah, so we got some upcoming events. We're still got a packed month of April. Next weekend, we got 3 events. Virginia, they're going to be out there on Smith Mountain Lake, and that's their second stop of the season so far. So we'll see them out there. And then Indiana is going to be out on Bluegrass Lake, and this is their second?
Second, yeah.
Or first?
No, second. That's their second.
Yeah, that's their second. Yep. And then Kentucky rescheduled. So they were supposed to have one yesterday, but because of the flooding, they rescheduled to the 19th. They're going to be out of Nolan Lake as long as everything calms down and the flooding slows up. And then the last week in April, the 26th, New Hampshire's firing it up.
Yeah, well, we'll see if the ice
Well,
lets go.
hopefully, and that's Wentworth, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So we'll see how that goes. I hope y'all are out there. I'm praying y'all get clean boat ramps and nice and easy, and y'all don't have to bust ice to go out and derby fish.
We should be good. I follow a couple pages on Facebook that like the community pages in the area and stuff, and it looks like it's open. Once the ice starts opening up, it goes quick. It's just getting that initial break.
Right.
Yeah. Mike's saying it. Yeah, it was a cold winter. I mean,
Yeah.
So
I mean, I feel like every time I'm talking to you, you're talking about how it's snowing again. It's like, dang.
Yeah. So we'll get that snow, but then it'll be 40s the next day. So it doesn't stick, but it's
That's got to be frustrating though.
Oh, it sucks. It sucks.
Yeah. That's whack. Well, I wonder about Wisconsin. Have you talked to our director up in Wisconsin?
They should be so I don't know. I gotta look at their schedule because the real big lakes like Champlain and the St. Lawrence and stuff like that. And I know that's not Wisconsin, but they open up quick once they start going.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I'll have to talk to them and see how they're looking. But he hasn't said anything about it, so they should be good.
Yeah, so that's 26 April as well. Wisconsin's kicking off their season on the Winnebago chain, obviously, barring no frozen conditions or anything. And then Louisiana, I don't know what stop they're on. I've lost track. That's their fourth event?
I think that was their fourth, yeah.
On Caddo Lake. Yep.
Yeah.
So getting it in. What do we got here? 30s?
Yeah, so the nights are still cold. That's the problem. Like
that's why it's not getting enough time.
We'll drop down to like the mid 30s, which is still it's like teetering on that freezing line.
Right.
But we just need a handful of warm days to really break, and sunshine would be fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, y'all just getting a bunch of
it's just been raining.
Overcast.
Yeah,
that's not fun. That's not fun. If it's cold, you need the sun at least.
Yeah, my brother said it. He lives up near the Winnipesaukee, which is our biggest lake in the state.
Mm-hmm.
And they Meredith, he can see like the bays and stuff. So the bays are opening, like I was saying,
right.
but it'll go. Fingers crossed, we're gonna be good to go.
Absolutely.
It'd be nice to get out there and pre-fish for at least a day, but
well, hopefully y'all get the opportunity. Y'all just had ice storms. You didn't tell me about that. What is going on?
Yeah, we get ice storms, snow, all the good stuff.
Dang, that's not fun. But moving on from the weather and all the upcoming events, we got to talk about the other, the real controversial situation going on. So let's just throw the feeler out real quick. Scott Martin. I know some of you guys know what I'm talking about. If you don't, the ones that do, go ahead and start typing out in the comments. Let's hear what you have to say about the situation. I'll give my spiel on it, and I think Nick's got a spiel on it too. What happened is, Scott Martin got DQ'd from another tournament. I don't remember, for some reason I can't remember which one it was. Okeechobee,
yeah, his home lake.
Right, for just a simple conversation. And now he is under investigation by Bass for similar accusations of information, and is potentially, I think he's under a disqualification board, and they were going to have him polygraph. So he decided to remove himself from the Elite Series and resign as a professional angler. So I'm tracking this. I've watched the video. And here's this too, right? I think he seems like a humble dude too. I'm gonna pull up the actual article from Wired to Fish.
So
that has
my thought on it, I feel for the guy. I'm 50-50 with Mike. I feel for him because I mean, he is a legend in the sport, right? Like his whole reputation's on the line right now.
right.
I don't know about the attacking him thing. I don't know who's attacking him, or I don't know all the details behind it. He did pass a polygraph. It wasn't Bass's polygraph, but he did get a supposed reputable guy to administer the polygraph test, and he passed. I don't know what the stipulations are behind it. I do feel bad for him, but at the same token, all these guys asked for these no information rules, and now that the no information rules are in place and they're very strict, as we can all see, they're working against some people. I don't know what his part in it was, but once they enforce these rules that they all wanted, and now people are getting caught up in it. So I don't know. It's like a double-edged sword.
Right. And in the article and in his video, he's talking about how he specifically, so this guy called him back around October timeframe, if I remember right. It was months and months ago. And this guy wanted to talk to him about the Albemarle Sound. I hope I'm saying that right. If there's North Carolina guys in here, let me know. And there's this. There's a lot of comments dropping. All right. Give me time to let me get this out, and then I'll start reading some of the comments. So my thing is, he got the phone call months and months and months ago, and then all this stuff about the news and everything, and the information and people going back and forth on things, and when he reached out to me, I can't talk about Albemarle Sound on tournament waters, but I have a question. And the question was, what areas around there outside of the tournament waters are most similar?
So he's like teetering on the line, right? Like he's
right.
He's playing that gray area. Which is it? Is it legal? Is it illegal? I mean, I don't know.
And my thing is, and then he talked about, so I'm assuming that it was the Bassmaster Team Championship, because it talks about how the guy asked him if he knew anything about the Watchtower River, and then it later informed him that the tournament he was asking about is switched to Kentucky Lake, and then Scott Martin gave him some waypoints or whatever, which, I mean, here's my thing. Somewhere in here, also let me point out this. This is a guy that I don't know at all. Never met him before in my life. He's not friends of a friend or anything. So there's no connection with me and this gentleman. So
yeah.
How, like, I'm a busy man like Scott Martin, fishing multiple tournament trails. You have so much going on in the sponsorship, the media around all these things, and you're entertaining conversation like this with someone you do not know whatsoever. First of all, how the conversation start, how to get in contact with you. If he's not even a friend of a friend, why are you giving him waypoints? Like, there's just so many things. And then he goes off to talk about, like, I don't.
There's a lot of questions. I know.
you talk about you're not taking the polygraph that Bass wants to issue you because there's questionable things about the polygrapher, and there's a lot going on in the polygraph world. First of all, that just sounds asinine to me to say.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. What is the polygraph world? There's like 10 people on the East Coast that do polygraphs. I mean,
This
there's
is what I
probably
want to
more
know.
than that.
Was it in person or was it on the phone?
No, it was on the phone. I'm pretty sure it says that. The
So
guy
how do you
called
get his
him.
phone? Like that's the thing. How do you get his phone number? You know what I mean? Like if you don't know the guy,
Exactly.
how? I don't know.
He said, I had a conversation
Yes,
with a
yes.
gentleman 7 months ago. In that conversation, it started off with a message saying, so he reached out to him at some point. Let me explain. I had a conversation with a gentleman 7 months ago. And in that conversation, it started off with a message saying, hey, give me a call, but I can't talk about Albemarle Sound, but I have a question.
This what Jared said too. The guy, he was a guide. I remember seeing that in one of the videos.
Oh, okay. I didn't see it. I missed that part.
Yeah.
Okay. So he reached out to a guide.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but did he go? I don't know what their off limits is. Like, can they take guided trips in 7 months in advance? Is that okay? I don't know. I have to look into that. But even so, maybe he made friends with the guy at that point. I don't know.
right.
But it's still, I don't know, man. Like when you're doing this for a living, you should,
You got to have tight lips. You know what I mean? Like you got to
Yeah.
tighten stuff up a little bit and in your actions and have a little bit of integrity there. Like, I don't know what goes on in that world all the way around. I'm sure there's, I know they all share information and stuff, and they're getting information. Like we all know that, but you have to just bite the bullet when it, comes at you. You decided to put yourself in that situation. Yeah, I think it's from the time this tournament schedule comes out and they know it, they're not allowed to get any information is what I think the rule reads. I'd have to pull it up. But
I'm trying to read back through the comments here. There's so many.
I know. Yeah. There's a lot. I think this is a big thing.
Yeah, he's just been doing it so long, right? Like that with all the rule changes and stuff. But I mean, I'm not making excuses for him. But wrong is wrong at the end of the day.
Right. This is a possibility. I don't know. I don't know. It could be, or somebody just found out some real stuff that he's been, shady about, and they're doing it. I don't know. There's a lot. My thing is if he's openly admitting, but my thing is that doesn't even make sense. He does say that in the article, in the Wired to Fish article that basically recaps his video. He says he didn't even know that Albemarle Sound was on the schedule. So why is he asking the question? And why is he telling the guy on the phone he can't talk about the Albemarle Sound, but all the things around if he didn't know? Exactly this.
Yeah.
Exactly this.
To keep his reputation, right? I don't know.
But
I don't know. It's.
I've got a lot of choice words on it, to be honest with you. I think it looks worse.
Well, John already said it in the.
Oh, did I miss his?
He said it some choice words. I'm not gonna.
Oh, got you. Yeah. Oh, I think I kind of glimpsed that one. Yeah. Yeah. No, I likewise.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure. And amen to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've got a story about Scott Martin. I'm not going to share it. Someone I used to be pretty close with basically got ripped off by him pretty good. So maybe I've got a bias. I don't know. But It is what
I mean, it is what it is, dude. You know, the rules are the rules, and you violate them, and that's it. That's
right.
I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a big thing too. Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. His reputation is already at a point to where, you know, this isn't even going to mess with him.
No.
Everybody will forget about it in a year anyway. So maybe it was better for him and his professional career to do what he did. I don't know. It's just there's a lot
he's
of
got a huge social media following. Like it.
Oh yeah.
He's won enough events. I mean, I don't know. He's created his legacy and on his own terms. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah,
but
well, he has a legacy that he stepped into, and
yeah, but yeah, those dudes are just him and Jacob Wheeler are just insane.
They're so good.
They're not even humans.
They're so good.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They're so good, and those dudes are actually cool. I haven't met Jacob Wheeler in person, but I met Dustin Connell in person at Santee when they were here. And he's a cool dude. Like we just sat around and chatted for a little bit.
Expo up here. He's a super chill dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them MLF dudes that were the original MLF dudes, the actual like hammers and bass that went over. Those guys were they're all pretty chill. But yeah, so our next topic. Sorry, I got a little fired up on that one. I've been wanting to talk about that. It's kind of as I was reading and watching the videos, I was just getting more and more angry with it. Like, just tell us the truth, dude. You know. Yeah. So the next thing I wanted to look at, and I'm gonna pull it up.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Nick brought this up to me right before the podcast, and I'm just curious if anybody has heard of this. I'm gonna refresh it so it shows it. This is David Dudley's new boat that he's running this year, FC Tomcat tonal hull.
I was scrolling through stuff last night, and I saw the MLF guys, and I saw David Dudley's boat. He was putting it on the trail. I'm like, dude, what is that thing?
Yeah, I haven't noticed. I've watched some MLF stuff and seen David Dudley. I never noticed the tunnel hole thing. And then you can see it's so weird. But it's
Australian.
Cool.
No, you see that? Josh said it's Australian.
Oh, really?
I've never seen that. I saw Tomcat. I'm like, okay, is it a new bass cat? And then I'm like, it doesn't have any resemblance to any bass cat out there.
Right.
Is it aluminum or is it fiberglass? That's what I want to know.
I think it's a glass boat.
Yeah.
I think. I hadn't seen anything about this thing yet. Oh, that's aluminum. Oh, that's a trailer.
Yeah.
I think it's a glass boat. It looks too wavy to be aluminum.
Was that a 300 on it in that picture that you?
I can't tell.
There's another picture. I thought it said 300 on there. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It's wild. I mean, I'm sure it'll take every bass boat nowadays can take up to 350s.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that up and see if anybody had heard of it.
Cool looking.
Oh, South Africa. Huh. Interesting. That's cool. It's neat. It's new.
Mike.
What happened? Oh, yeah, I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen what the starting price is. I can imagine looking at it. It looks not cheap at all.
What is cheap now, right?
Yeah, and especially if that joker's getting hauled in all the way from South Africa. Definitely got some tariff tax on it for sure. Oh, coming in the U.S. Nice. Well, I guess we'll see how it goes. I didn't watch the MLF much today, but
I want to know how it handles, like like big water. A tunnel.
We'll see.
I don't
know. I don't really understand the. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. I don't really understand the. Oh, okay, that tracks. So they kind of gotta just redesigned it or whatever. That's neat.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. I had to slip something in there about it. But yeah. Well, let's get into the big thing. You ready, Nick?
Let's do it.
All right. So for months, I have been wanting to do like monthly T-shirts with the with the podcast, and honestly, I've just been slammed with life and busy as can be. And then last month at our last tournament, it kind of hit me afterwards. A couple days later, I was like, hey, it's time to execute on this. And the monthly T-shirts aren't just a way for us to make money. Like we're not making money off of these or anything like that. I want you guys to all understand that. The purpose of these is a little different than that. I don't know what's going on with my chair, but it's like adjusting on me all weird. It's weird. But every one of the monthly shirts we're gonna have has a meaning, or it's something that y'all want. So design ideas, what you guys want to see. If y'all want like a Sunday sit rep shirt, we can do that. Whatever. The first one has some meaning to it, for sure. And before I get it, well, not yet. I'll show it first. So the front of our shirt that we're doing, and these are the way we're gonna do this is we'll run it probably I'd say maybe we'll adjust and do the next ones. Say we do it the last weekend of the month prior, that way they're open for sales the whole month of. So like the April shirt normally will open, or we'll say the March shirt, May shirt, my goodness, the May shirt will open the last weekend of April. We'll bring it up in here and release it. That way 1 May it's ready to go and y'all can buy it then. And then we're going to be the giveaway for the show every month or every week is going to be one of the monthly shirts. So we stuck with the kind of the original green color that we had on the last shirt. But the reason this one is the way it is has some meaning and some depth to it, and I'll explain it in a minute. But so it's on the front. I can't see over myself, but it says talk about it. Let's see here. All right. Everything's backwards. So there it is. So that's the back or the front. All right. And it's like the green. If you got the AFFL shirts that we have on there now, and the green, and I don't remember what other colors we have on
there's
it.
Different colors on there. I mean, this is like the this one's like indigo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't realize you could do different colors. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I thought we were just doing. All right, sweet. And then on the back, it has Proverbs 17:17. A friend is always loyal, and a brother is born to help in a time of need. Everything is backwards, so I'm struggling here, guys. I'm sorry, but yeah. And there's a lot. We talk on here a lot about talking about it, right? We all go through things. Everybody here as a military or first responder, for the most part, we have some civilians in. But it doesn't mean they haven't been through stuff either. And the whole point of what we're doing with the Armed Forces Fishing League is building the brotherhood, right? Building those friendships. Do what?
Opening that door for people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Breaking down the walls, letting the barriers open and talking about whatever it is that's on your mind, right? And that's why we're a team tournament trail. And for the civilians that are in the boats with our guys, just know, like, sometimes, they might just need to open up, right? And you might need to as well, right? This isn't just for military and first responders. Like, we let civilians in for a reason, so don't feel discredited in any way that you're fishing with us. But you have no idea what someone's going through until you talk about it, right? And that might start with, hey, if Nick seems off, I'm going to ask a question like, hey, man, what's up? What's going on? And like, be firm about it sometimes, because we're all men for the most part. Sorry if there's any women in here, but like out on the boat, out on the water, at the derbies, it's mostly men out there, right? And we hide our stuff. We don't talk about it. We put it down, we bury it deep down, and then it blows up and builds up, and it gets ugly.
I mean, that's just how we were train too, right? Even, law
Right.
enforcement, military, whatever it is.
Right.
Drink water and drive on. The old saying,
Exactly.
you just keep going. And
Right.
that's a hard habit to let go.
It is.
So, definitely, that's why these shirts are so important, just kind of for people to see that, it might resonate with someone.
Exactly.
Just talk about it. Get it off your chest. If something's bothering you, that was my biggest battle coming home. You drink and you do all this stuff to try and mask it, but really what you need is someone to talk to. And for me, that's what basically set me free, was finding someone to talk to that was not part of my group, outside of the group. Yeah, Motrin, yeah. Ibuprofen, yeah.
Yeah, here's some 800 milligram Motrin, you'd be all right.
Yeah. But just finding someone outside of your group of friends, someone, that doesn't know you from a hole in the wall, just that person to talk to is huge. And, the funny thing about these, well, not funny, but quite the coincidence with these shirts is this is the first weekend in April and we're doing these, and today is actually one of the days that one of my buddies was killed overseas. God works in mysterious ways, right? Like there's no coincidence with that,
Right.
And I don't know, if you have someone in your boat and they seem off, just talk to them about it, because in the end it could save a life. Having people to talk to is huge.
Absolutely.
And like Mike right here, nailed it.
Yeah. I don't know okay, you already opened it up. Yeah, exactly. And it's not weak, dude. Like, I don't care what nobody says.
We want to break that stigma. Get rid of that. It's not. It takes, I look at it, it takes more of a man to actually open up and talk about it than to hold it in.
Right. And you never know that, like, what you bring up, right? Like, let's say I'm going through something, whatever that looks like. And whatever you bring up to your buddy, right? Like, say I want to talk to Nick about something and I become a little vulnerable with Nick. I let those barriers down a little bit and I start talking with Nick and we start, getting into a conversation or whatever, digging in, diving deep. And then now we just developed a little bit of trust there to where Nick might be holding back on something that after I just kind of, disclose some information about my stuff to him, now that barrier is dropped a little bit, he's willing to drop his a little bit lower and start telling me some things that he's got going on. So not only are you helping yourself by talking about whatever the heck you got going on right now and just getting it off your chest and getting it off your shoulders and not being the only one that knows that you're having a hard time or, you've got night terrors from this or whatever the case is, right? As soon as you let that off, then you potentially just dropped a barrier for your friend to do the exact same to you, and they might even need it more than you did.
Mm-hmm.
You literally don't know what someone's going through, no matter how good you know them, how well you think you know them. You have no idea what somebody's holding back from. Some people are really, really good at hiding it.
No, dude, I had one of my best friends, Mike Richard. He, I didn't deploy with him. He deployed to Iraq at a separate time, but he was the funniest kid that you could ever be around. He'd always make you laugh. And one day I got a message from one of our mutual friends that he killed himself. Never in a million years. And then you sit there and you think, like, did I miss signs? Like, what was it?
Right.
Never in a million years did I think he was at that point.
Right. And if you're a military first responder, and even some of the civilian folks out there have probably been to some kind of suicide prevention training or computer-based training or in-person training or whatever, and they talk about exactly what you just said, Nick, the signs. They're going to sell all their stuff, and they're going to go from like
He didn't do any of that.
Yeah.
He didn't do any of that.
a lot don't. And that's the thing. A lot of them don't. That are successful. And that's why that's why I want these shirts, right? exactly like Nick said, if somebody is reading it on their chest, right? Maybe that's something like that just plants a seed in their head. You're on the water for 8 hours that day, and your buddy sees your shirt that says talk about it. And then they're just sitting in the back of the boat or the front of the boat just thinking like, man, maybe I should open up about this. Maybe I should open up about this. Our last event on Lake Murray, or excuse me, on Lake Monticello, I was struggling all day long, and I didn't open up to Bobby on some stuff until like 1 o'clock, I think it was. And the whole day, in my head, it was like, I was like, I should talk about it. Nah, I ain't gonna ruin our day like that. I don't want to, dump stuff on him. He's got stuff going on. You know what I mean? Like all that. Screw all that. Talk about it.
Yeah, talk about it. Get it off your chest. I'm telling you, it's liberating.
It is 100%. I went from having probably one of the worst fishing days in my life. I zeroed, didn't catch a single fish, didn't even feel a bite. And I went from one of the worst days fishing on the water that I had in a long time that I can remember, just sitting back there, just staring at the wall. Like, I wasn't even focused, wasn't doing anything right, like making bad casts, not in the game at all. And then opened up, talk about it. We had a real deep conversation. Then we had a fantastic weigh-in. It got me back in the mindset of, hey, I'm a tournament director. I need to put on a professional face. I need to take care of this. I need to get this stuff going. And I went back to the ramp. We got everything going, and we had a great time, and my day ended up being fantastic at the end of the day. But 5 minutes before that, I was not in a good place at all until I talked about it. And that moment is the motivation I got to start this back up and like actually push with it, get the shirts made, get the design made, get it over to Nick, get the shirts done, and go. Right. So what are y'all thinking on it? Like, you don't have to drop a comment now or anything like that, but whatever y'all want to see on these monthly shirts, this is what we're looking for. I've got ideas written down. I've already got some other designs drafted up. Anything y'all think of that is gonna help a brother, or if we want to do a funny month, whatever that looks like, some goofy stuff on the shirt, we can do that. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
Just some big fish or whatever, whatever y'all are thinking. Send us ideas, and we'll get them done. I realize we don't really have any SITREP swag, so next month we might do a Sunday SITREP shirt or something like that.
We can make a permanent one too.
Yeah, we could do that for sure.
I'm thinking about this now too. You know what's crazy is when I was overseas, the first incident that we had in March, we lost an entire truck to an IED, and that same day, not that same year, but that same day of the month in March is the same day that me and my wife got together. Wow. So it's like someone is telling
aligns things
to take your mind off of it. I mean, and then this day my son was born yesterday, a year ago, and we're coming out with these shirts, and it's just things align, right? I mean,
yep.
But yeah, I mean, definitely, talk about it. I mean, that's huge. Just get it off your chest. You can call me, you can call Austin. If you don't feel comfortable with talking to anybody else, my phone's always on for anybody.
Absolutely. Same.
I'd rather you call someone when you're hurting and talk about it, get it off your chest, and we'll get through it together. And we have resources that, if we can't help you in any way, we can get you connected with someone that can.
Absolutely. That's the name of the game.
That one phone call.
Right. That is
and
the
if
name.
You're in the boat with someone like Austin said, and they seem off, bring it up. Don't be afraid to bring it up, because that's what it takes to save someone.
Absolutely. You never know what that person's going through.
Yeah.
And man, I'm not saying beat somebody down, but when somebody brings up something and they're like, hey, this negative, whatever that looks like, and
Just
you're
listen.
like, yeah, listen. And
Just listen.
if you're like, oh well, what? No, never mind. I'm fine. Press that dude. I'm not
Yeah.
saying beat him up. I'm not saying do anything crazy, but press that dude because there's something deep he's fighting.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
I mean, I tried like the standard, I came home, it took me, God, probably, I came home in 2008, probably 5 to 8 years to even bring anything up. You know what I mean? And I tried
sure.
like the standard therapy stuff, and that wasn't it.
Right.
That didn't do it for me. And
Right.
then just finally, what I did was I talked to someone who was in the military, but I didn't know them at all. It was actually at a Veterans Outreach Center, and he was a Marine in the Gulf War, and I just felt like I could connect. You know what I mean? Like I could talk to him, I could relate. I didn't know him, so I didn't think he was judging me, and it helped a ton. And then got into fishing. After my friend Mike killed himself, my friend Ben Corshane took me out fishing, and we did a tournament, and that was it. I found this, that connection on the water and just being away from everything, and that did it. That did it for me. And that's just just talk to someone. Don't hold it in. It does no good. It creates tension in your household. It creates tension in your whole life. Like, just get it off. Get it off your chest.
Right. And like he said, this is for everybody, man. I don't care what you did in the military, law enforcement, EMS, firefighters, nurses, ER people, like ER nurses, trauma victims, trauma nurses, civilians that have just been through things. Like everybody has some sort of trauma, regardless of your status of what you've done as a career. Doesn't mean that you haven't witnessed trauma or been through something that you need to open up about because it's holding you back in some sort of way or making you think things that you shouldn't. And you'd be surprised how relatable your situation is to someone else's that you talk to. How common it is that people have the same thoughts that you have or are going through the same similar things that you have.
Yeah.
Absolutely. For sure. I remember when that was a big thing, the 22 a day challenge. Yeah, for sure. And if anybody isn't listening or doesn't know, I feel like it's pretty open and out there. I mean, that's how many veterans commit suicide every day in the United States. So that was a big challenge. I mean, that started a few years ago.
Yeah.
But doing it for over a year, I mean, that's some dedication. I'm sure that's definitely something that dude holds close to his heart for sure. But yeah, that's cool. If he was posting it, excuse me, and then had people start calling him and open up to him and stuff, that's awesome.
That's sometimes it just takes that action. Someone sees that you care about something like that, and that might be their way of talking about it with you. You know what I mean? Just opening that door for people to reach out to you.
Right, for sure. And something I think that gets a lot of people are self-inflicted wounds. Whether that's an action you did, an action you failed to do, something you did. A lot of people let self-inflicted wounds. Excuse me, man, I'm yawning a bunch. I don't know why. I'm really not that tired. But whatever that looks like for you, right? Like we're in a relationship with this person, you shouldn't have been, or whatever that case is. You drink too much or you cuss too much or whatever those things are, right? That are self-inflicted that you're holding back because you don't want to admit it to someone. Just let it go. We all make mistakes. Every single one of us. We're all humans. Every one of us is going to make a mistake every single day. Don't be scared of a little bit of criticism from a friend. Maybe that's what you need. Or maybe that friend you're talking to or random stranger that you don't know. Like Nick said, they don't know you enough to judge you at all. Let it be. And honestly, I've gotten to a point in my life where I don't even care what anybody thinks of me, to be honest with you. Like,
best way to be.
I mean, let it ride. So what? If you don't want a relationship with them,
we have a pretty good group here too.
Right.
I don't see anybody judging anybody.
No.
I feel like I could call someone down in Georgia or wherever at any time.
Right.
If I was going through something and they'd listen, any one of the anglers, that's what it's all about.
For sure. Talk to each other.
Yeah.
Talk to each other. But so to get that shirt, Nick, do you have it live on the website right now?
I'm going to make it live right after this.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
Actually, you know what? Let me jump on real quick. I'll do it now.
Yeah, do it now, and I'll pull it up on there so they can maybe get a clearer picture and show people where it's at if they're not tracking. Yeah, so it'll be live on the website. You can order it there. Shipping's not that bad. I think it's like a week or so roughly to get your products from the BX thing. So yeah, order it there, and then we're gonna be doing one every episode for this is our giveaway from here on out. So yeah, that's all we got on the shirts. If anybody has any questions, and like I said, if y'all got any design ideas, kick them to me and Nick, and we'll get them thrown out there and drawn up. But real quick, I'm gonna go over all of our upcoming events real fast, and then we're going to wrap it up. But real fast before we wrap everything up, make sure you guys, we've got a handful of people on here. Make sure y'all are sharing, and commenting. Hashtag #TheSitRep for your chance to win this shirt for sure. Okay, I like that idea.
I like that too. Yeah.
Yeah, we can work that. That's easy money.
Yeah.
And we can have those there at the event for everybody.
We'll actually do a form and get like shirt sizes and stuff for people that are actually going to the event. And yeah, we can make it.
Yeah, for sure. I like it a lot. So yeah, and then that's really all we got. Make sure y'all are jumping in that. I'm gonna go over the national championship. And then I'm gonna go over the upcoming events, and then we'll do the giveaway, and then we'll get y'all wrapped up and out of here. So upcoming next weekend, 12 April, we got 2 events. The first one's in Virginia on Smith Mountain Lake. Make sure you guys are getting out of there, going and whacking some of them giant smallies they got out there for sure. I mean, I think you can hit the Grand Slam out there if I'm not mistaken. I think they got big spots too, and for sure a largemouth. So get out there to Virginia. 12 April in Indiana, they're having their second event on Bluegrass Lake down there in the southwestern corner of the state. And then 19 April, Kentucky is having their rescheduled event on No Lynn. 26 April, we got 2 openers for one for New Hampshire on Wentworth, and Wisconsin is having their opener on the Winnebago chain. And then 26 April as well, Louisiana is having their 4th stop on Caddo Lake. So make sure y'all are getting out and getting involved if you're not already, and staying involved if you are. So, I really, really like the way, we're growing and consistent. Our teams this week were all pretty consistent and have been with us, and we're really thankful for that. We had a few new people here and there, but it's I like the consistency. It's really bringing that brotherhood aspect into play, and I'm really digging it. I'm really digging it. But yeah, let's go ahead. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Let's go ahead and do the giveaway real quick for the shirt. Let me jump over here. And it's going. Alan.
Oh, nice. That's one of our guys.
You say his name then.
Alan.
Yeah. Bumeyer.
I wouldn't expect anybody to say my last name either. So
Bumeyer. Bowmeyer? I feel like that's a Bowmeyer.
I'll find out this year. He's one of our new guys.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Well, Alan, if you're on here, shoot Nick your address so he can kick you over one of our shirts. And yeah, that's really all we got. Congrats, man. And I know Nick's looking forward to having you as they grow grow their organization up there in New Hampshire for sure.
absolutely.
But I don't really have anything else other than our normal weekly devotion. If you don't have anything, Nick.
No, I'm good. I'm just I'm updating that shirt right now, so it'll be live here in
Okay.
a minute.
Cool. Yeah. So make sure y'all jump over and real quick, I'll show you how to get to it. If let me get I don't even have our website pulled up. Let me get the website pulled up. I'll show y'all how to get over to it and where it'll be, just so you're tracking. It should be no, not that one. This one. So you'll get this normal pop-up. Stay up to date if you're not already signed up. Right here in the top right corner, you have PXBX. You just click that right there. It looks a little different on the phone. It's a drop down, but same concept. And then this is where all our shirts, shorts, stickers, neck gaiters, glasses, hoodies, all those things are. So if you want to rep some AFFL swag, go ahead and get on there, and that's where the shirt will be. If you don't want to wait on trying to win one. And what we'll do is we will, for the monthly shirts, we'll keep it out a little longer than the month, like a day or two after the end of the month. Probably cut it off on the 1st. So whenever that last weekend is, if you didn't win one and you're waiting to see if you win one, you can order them all in at the end of the month, right after the last episode. So,
I mean, I don't even mind keeping the designs live permanently. If people like it, we can leave them up and then we'll just add a new one on.
Chris, I'm tracking. I got it. I read it. I don't know why it's saying I haven't looked at it, but I'm tracking. My bad. I might not have responded, but I definitely read it. I have your address marked down for sure. I got to count up your barbecue sauces because I might not have enough to get them out to you. I got to get some more for sure. But yeah. So for all the folks that that don't normally say for the devotional, I hope y'all have a great week. And that's really all I got for you. You got anything for him, Nick?
No, I'm good. Josh, the updates on nationals.
Oh, try.
We have the dates. There's not the Goose Pond Colony Resort is that's where the boat ramp is. They are a little pricey. They don't offer military discounts and stuff. There's 1 million Airbnbs within 5-10 minutes of the boat launch. You could find anything on there. If you guys all want to get together, get a house, each state, whatever you want to do. If you're bringing the family and you guys want to get a house, there's plenty on Airbnb, Vrbo, or whatever site you use. But there's tons of lodging in the area. Goose Pond Colony does have hotel rooms. They have some cottages, but again, they're pricey. And all the Airbnbs are very close to all the resort itself. So,
right.
The dates are posted on the website. I do have to update the fish length limits or minimums, I should say. I checked the state of Alabama, and we're doing 12. It's 12-inch spots, 12-inch largemouth, and 15-inch smallmouth. And there's you can have as many smallmouth as you want. It's not like Chickamauga was, where you can only have one. But I'll update all that. But as far as lodging goes, there's Airbnb is probably going to be your best bet, to be honest with you.
For sure. And like Nick said, there's literally 1 million of them out there. Just make sure if y'all are doing big groups, you're checking parking, and you don't end up
I saw it was pretty cool. I saw some like boat houses things they have you can rent out, and
oh yeah, it's sick. And Philip, I'll have the standings posted tomorrow probably. I'm having some issues for some reason. The new system that we're playing with and trying out, it's not updating the points right for big fish. It's giving like the 7th place team the extra point for big fish for whatever reason. So it's going to influence the standings. I have them all done, and yeah, I'll get them out there soon, and they'll be posted to Facebook.
Yeah, Chris brings up a good point. If you haven't done it yet, make sure you get it. If you plan on going to nationals, Alabama does require the boaters safety course. So
right, but it can be from your home state.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, as long as it's like a Coast Guard approved course, which any state offers, and it brings down your boat insurance. So
I didn't know that. I probably already tell my boat company, my Progressive that. Yeah, like South Carolina, they call it a boater education card.
Yeah,
whatever, and it's good for
forever.
Yeah, usually. I don't think it doesn't have an expiration on it. So yeah. Yeah, it's super easy. Like that one, it was an open book test at the MWR on base, so easy money.
Yeah, I did mine. That was just like a sit-in one day. I went in person. I think most states do it online too.
Right.
I just went in person. I went in one day. They did the training, if you want to call it, and then the test at the end, and now I have it for life.
Right. Easy money. But cool. Well, if y'all aren't staying for the devotional, have a good week. Thanks for watching, and thanks for the support that y'all blessed us with for the years and hopefully years to come. We appreciate every single one of y'all. We couldn't do this any of this without you. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope y'all have a good week, and we'll see you next weekend for sure. I know I'll be available. I don't know about you, Nick. But next weekend we should be on here.
Yeah, it should be good.
Yeah, I think I'm good. We'll figure it out. But yep, for sure. So for the devotional folks, so I don't have anything crazy today. I just kept it in line with the shirt, and it's kind of just a reason for why we use the Bible verse on the back of the shirt. So another part of the shirts that another reason for that is I wanted to get a little I've been having like a calling to kind of use this platform for us to get the word out a little more in whatever capacity we could. And so that's when this started, right? And we started the SITREP we started the SITREP, and then I kind of felt like a calling to start doing the devotionals on the Sunday nights, and then at the end of each SITREP, and then when I started doing the shirt thing, like originally that calling was to be biblically related as well. And we're going to kind of keep it in line. I don't know if every single month it's going to be biblical relation there, but a lot of them are, I believe. So the reason I went with Proverbs 17:17 is because that is what our organization is all about, right? The brotherhood. A friend is always loyal, and a brother is born to help in a time of need. And that's what we're here for. And, throughout the entire New Testament, it tells you multiple times to lean on each other as believers, and come together as a church, right? And a church doesn't necessarily mean a hardened structure, right? In my opinion, this can be church, right? We're coming together in the name of Christ, and that's church. He's with us when we come together, and it's just that, like, we have each other. Use each other when you can, right? Nobody knows what you're going through except him and you. So make sure you're using I seen them. Make sure you're using each other. If it's just something like that, getting a little laugh out of your buddy, whatever that case is, that time of need that your brother needs might not even be talk about it, right? It might just be a laugh. It might just be, taking them out turkey hunting.
Just like Phil just made me laugh.
Right, exactly. Right. And then, or, just, going out, hanging out, going fishing, just doing whatever, be there. And, be that friend that is always loyal, and be that brother that's there to help in their time of need. Right. But don't be too humble or too proud I guess that wouldn't be humble. Don't be too proud.
Yeah, too prideful, man. You can't.
Never humble yourself and talk about whatever it is. Use your brothers. That's what we're all here for.
Everybody goes through stuff.
Literally,
you're not alone. Just open those doors and break down those walls because you're not alone.
Right. You never know what somebody has. So be ready to be that friend that's loyal and a brother born in the time, or to be born in the time of need. And what, yeah, I mean, that's really it. I didn't have a lot on it tonight. I just, wanted to give some backstory on why that's on the shirt. And I thought that was kind of well known. I mean, kind of, you can put 2 and 2 together, but, that's what we're all about. So like, let's talk about it, but let's not talk about it. Let's be about it. If that makes sense. Right.
Yeah.
Be there for your brothers, your sisters, whatever that looks like. And, work together. We're all one team. We might've been different branches or, first responders or civilians or whatever, but here we're all one team. We're all one fight to help each other out and be there for each other.
For sure.
Cool.
It's hard. You got to, you put on that mask, you got to be as a man, you have to be that male figure in your household. So you got to be the strong one in front of your kids and your wife, and just talk about it with someone outside of that, outside of the box. That's
right. I can't tell you how many times I've opened up to people, man. And, you open up to them about something and then you realize like how much you can relate to that person.
Yeah.
That you never would have thought you would relate to them. And there's always going to be like subtle differences and things, but yeah, you never know. You never know.
And everyone handles stuff different, right?
For
Even,
sure.
You could be going through something and someone opens up to you and you might be like, oh, that's nowhere near what I went through. Don't do that. Just listen to them. Listen to that person. If they're opening up to you, that means they're going through something that is really affecting their life.
Right.
Don't try and compare it to what you went through because you might handle stuff differently than that person does. Just listen. Just be that ear, that shoulder to lean on. If that person is opening up, that's a huge step for them. Right. That's a huge barrier that they're breaking down.
Right. Exactly. And just because you broke your arm when you were 5 doesn't mean that scratch that dude just took on his arm is insignificant.
Yeah.
Right. Like
might be that first scratch he ever had.
Exactly. Right. That might be the first painful thing that person's ever gone through. That you never know what it is. And that's just obviously an analogy or whatever that's called. I don't know. I'm not that educated. But metaphor or whatever,
Kentucky.
Same thing. Yeah, Kentucky. Yeah. But yeah, you never know. My first sergeant said it not too long ago. I don't remember what she said, but she said it really good. Something like somebody's worst day may seem insignificant, but it might be the worst thing they've ever been through, right? Like just because it's insignificant to you does not mean that it's not the worst day they've ever had or the worst thing they've ever experienced or whatever. And they don't know how to deal with it, right? Like, yeah. Philip, I never even seen pictures, so it didn't happen. It's not real. You did not take a hook to your heel until I've seen pictures. But yeah. That's awesome. Exactly. See? And that's what it's like, right? It might just be that. Maybe you just need to talk about the hook stuck in your heel. Talk through it. For sure. Hopefully he did the braided 1, 2, 3 trick. That's what I would have did. I would have told you I was counting to 12 and pulled it on the first count. Just one snap.
And Phil, listen, it's the lighting, okay? Just when you don't see the sun for 6 months.
Yeah.
This is what happens, okay?
Right. But y'all, Nick, if you don't have anything, I don't really have anything else. We're at that hour 20 mark. I don't want to keep anybody too much later. But But yeah, make sure y'all get over there, get on the shirts, and sometimes just be ready to, you might be the one in the good place, but drive that conversation that needs to be had. Hey bro, how you doing today? What's going on? Where is this at? Whatever. And just know that pay attention to your friends, right? When your friends start acting out of pocket, start acting out of character, saying, doing things, whatever that looks like, look for those signs, because sometimes it might be easy to just get frustrated, whatever.
Or just check in. If there's no,
for sure.
Like I learned from my buddy that there was, man, I beat myself up over that all the time. There was no sign. You know what I mean? Like just ask, how you doing?
Right.
That's all it takes. Just ask.
For sure. That's literally all it is. But
yeah.
Makes you think.
Sure does.
But just if your friend is acting out of pocket, or they're acting out of character or whatever, and they're doing something that aggravates you, have that grace for them and ask that question and use that as like, hey, that's your sign. I just had that kind of recently where one of my friends was, kind of acting a little weird about things and, saying things that kind of got me frustrated or whatever, pointing stuff out that it's like, whatever. And then, after, talking and realizing some things that they had going on, it's like, all right, this stuff's making sense right now. They might be taking something out on you that's not even your fault, but don't get upset with them because they're obviously not in the right place. They're not in the right mindset. They're not in the right, they're not them right now for whatever reason that is. So be ready to have that grace and just ask the right questions. And, a question that I think is one of the hardest questions to ask that I have used that that has saved a life is don't be afraid to ask that question straight up and honest. Are you thinking about killing yourself?
That's it. Be blunt.
Be blunt and straightforward, and you will be surprised. 2 occasions now I've asked that question and the answer was yes. And we did what we needed to do to save that person's life. And they're both doing great right now. And I'm not saying that for, oh, look at me. That's not what I'm doing. I'm saying don't be afraid to ask that question if the signs are pointing there.
For sure.
Because sometimes that might be the realization that individual needs to be like, holy crap, I am.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's our, military, first responder, anything, getting comfortable in uncomfortable situations. Like, make it happen. Ask that question.
Yeah. Don't be scared of it, because I promise it's liberating for that individual when you do usually. So.
Yeah. Chris. Yes. I was so happy to see that we raised over $1,000 for Phil. That's awesome. I would, I'd love to do more, but yeah.
Right. For sure.
I'm glad we did that.
Yep. I know that family needs it, so it worked out.
Yeah.
But that's the brotherhood. That's what it's all about.
For sure. Well, I'm good.
Cool. Me too. Well, y'all have a good week. Stay blessed. Stay, talking about it. And we'll see y'all next week. I don't really have anything else. So we'll see y'all next week. Be safe, have fun, be blessed, and let us know. Don't be afraid to reach out to either of us or your friends. And absolutely with this, we'll close it out on that. Prayers are always good. Money ain't everything. Prayers do more than any of that. Any of the material stuff. Amen to that, Chris. Amen. So remember, y'all, it's not just a tournament. It's a brotherhood. We'll see y'all next week. Bye.
See you.